Look at the sheer volume of products available in a standard grocery aisle today. We are surrounded by a hyperkinetic abundance that touches almost every aspect of our daily lives. Thanks to flexible working hours, the rise of telecommuting, and instant global connectivity, we have a level of day-to-day freedom that previous generations simply did not possess. This animated diagram tracks the exponential growth of our interconnected lifestyle choices over the last 10 years, spanning everything from what media we stream to exactly where we choose to live and work. The cultural assumption here is straightforward. With ultimate flexibility and infinite options at our fingertips, we logically should be the most satisfied demographic in human history. Yet this abundance often leaves us feeling anxious, emotionally exhausted, and strangely trapped. Why does a utopia of endless choice create such heavy friction? To understand this friction, we need to scale down from the macro culture of abundance and look at the micro reality of making a single, simple daily decision. This text introduces analysis paralysis, a state where having too many factors to consider makes choosing practically impossible. The highlighted text reveals a harsh psychological irony. As available options go up, satisfaction with the final choice actually goes down. When you try to weigh a dozen variables simultaneously, your brain's processing power effectively crashes, creating a real physical and emotional toll. If a simple, mundane choice like picking an outfit for the day can drain your cognitive energy and trigger anxiety, imagine the structural impact this paralysis has on major life milestones. Let's scale up from trivial morning routines and apply this exact paralysis to high-stakes, life-altering dilemmas. This document outlines massive life problems. Problem 1 presents the tension between pursuing music and going into business. Problem 2 shows the conflict of focusing on career versus having children young. Problem 3 asks whether to take an overseas opportunity or stay in your family. Being caught in these macro dilemmas carries a severe emotional reality. You feel entirely torn, wedged tight between a rock and a hard place. This seesaw diagram visualizes how our brain attempts to calculate the perfect outcome, wildly tipping back and forth as heavy, incompatible life variables are rapidly piled onto both sides. In these massive, high-stakes scenarios, the sheer abundance of possible paths creates an intense fear of making the wrong choice. Instead of moving forward, we simply freeze. The counterintuitive truth is that, statistically speaking, individuals with heavily restricted options are often much happier with their final decisions. The logic behind this is highly practical. Severe limitations force a definitive choice. They naturally eliminate the lingering what-if scenarios that breed long-term regret. Contrast that with our modern condition. We are constantly haunted by the ghosts of unchosen, viable alternate life paths splitting off from our final selections. We cannot simply delete the overwhelming abundance of the modern world. Instead, we have to completely change how we process our options to avoid constant dissatisfaction. Overcoming analysis paralysis requires taking intentional charge of our environment, strictly structuring and categorizing our interests. This learning platform mitigates paralysis using interest-driven frameworks. It organizes information into manageable tabs like all, to do, and done. Narrowing your focus to defined pillars, business, future, reading, makes the simple act of hitting start feel achievable. Once those options are narrowed down, you have to abandon the idea of mathematical perfection. You have to rely on a gut feeling to make the final leap. Modern freedom requires the confidence to curate your choices, trust your instincts, and move forward with purpose.